The master cylinder, you just gotta take off 2 bolts here and there. Hard line, just use a 10, and then you should be able to take that line off right there. You do risk stripping it if you use one of these, so I suggest getting a flare nut wrench. I just didn't have one, but it wasn't that bad. It came right off. So disconnect this, those two, it'll come right out. Your fluid will leak down here too, so just put like a towel down there. After the bolts, comes right out, just like that. So you want to bleed this, so what you want to do, shove like a screwdriver in here to press this down, put fluid in here. Once you press this down, fluid will come out of this hole right here where the clutch line is, and once it starts seeping out, your clutch has finally been bled. So it's a pretty simple process, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. This, you want to add fluid to the maximum line, and I already did, and you see how it went down already because I bled the clutch master cylinder. All I did was just shove an Allen key straight back into there, into that hole, put my finger right over this, put the Allen key through and press down as hard as you can, nice and slow. And then as you can see, after a few times of doing that, pressing it in, like the brake fluid will come straight through here. And once you do that a couple times, it'll come through the hole where the line's supposed to go. So now I did that a few times, and it's ready to go now. Got fluid coming out, so now this master cylinder has been bled. What you not want to do is you don't want to run this dry, because if you run this dry, you'll suck all this air into your clutch lines and you'll have to rebleed your system again, which could take a lot of time. So just make sure to monitor this. Do not run this dry, because you'll suck air into the system, and that's what you're trying to avoid. So I'm also replacing the slave cylinder, because I mean it's just preventative maintenance. It's just 2 bolts, one right here that I'm unscrewing right now, and then another one right below that right there. Just those 2 bolts, a hard line right here. I recommend taking the hard line off first before you do this, because it might be stuck on there pretty good and you won't be able to do it while this is off. So it's good to do it while everything's tightened down. And it's kind of hard for it to come out like as it is, like right now. So you kind of have to take this off in order for the hard line to slip off. And then it's like the same way as installing it. You want to put the hard line on first, then screw it to the transmission, because you won't be able to fit it on. You might bend it too. So just make sure you put the hard line on first and then disconnect the hard line first. So yeah, I'm just gonna take these 2 off and then slip it out of that right there and then install the new one. I'm doing this, it's gonna take the wheel off because now you have access to your slave cylinder, and you wanna make sure that bleeder can open right there. So mine's loose right now. You can see it's loosened. So now that it's loosened, now I can go ahead and install everything, just to make sure you put everything in, and then if that's broken, at least you know now before you put all the new fluid in and stuff. So it's just good to check your slave cylinder bleeder valve, and then after you disconnect all that, the hard line will just slide right off it because it's already been loosened. And then these are just the 2 holes that hold it in, and then this is what the boot and the pin rest against, so it engages like the clutch and everything once you press down on the pedal. And then after that, you have your slave cylinder out right here. Here's your bleeder valve. This one's pretty old. I mean, it's still in good condition. It's just a lot of debris on it. But I heard these tend to go out a lot on these cars, but it's a cheap fix. This was probably about 15 bucks. But yeah, gonna go ahead and put the new one in now. When you usually get your new slave cylinder, this might not come in it already, so all you gotta do is just push it in. It only goes one way in, and then slip the boot over this right here, so you know it doesn't leak. You pretty much just want to match it to this one right here. See how they're both the same right now, because there is something in here like metal right there. You can see like the oil. You want to slip that like right over that so it doesn't leak. And then after you do that, it should be to be able to move free and stuff like this, and then you're ready to install it. And then just take this part out right here too. And then there's a little cap for your bleeder valve. You can keep that just to keep your, you know, bleeder valve intact, but I just took it off right now because I'm going to be bleeding the clutch after this. But just a little thing you can put back on. The new slave cylinder in, definitely recommend putting the hard line in first. It's really hard to do it if you put the bolts in first. So I recommend putting the hard line first, slip in the pin right here, and then put the bolts in. Do like the bottom and then the top, because it's pretty impossible to do it like while it's on, because the way it's angled, the hard line won't go in smoothly, and then it just won't tighten down. This nut right here won't tighten down on it, so it's like you kind of have to do it that way. But I'm just checking around the boot right now. It seems fine. Nothing bad with it. It's over the pin, so now it's ready to bleed. What you're gonna do is open the valve first, have them press down on the clutch pedal, and then fluid will come out, and then close the valve, and then tell them to let their foot up. And just keep repeating that process. Open the valve, pedal down, close the valve, pedal up. Just keep doing that, and then your pedal, you'll be getting all the air out of the system and dirty fluid too. So just keep doing that over and over again until you feel the difference in the pedal, until it's fully bled. All right, so everything's been good. It shifts really good. Goes into gear well again. Before it wasn't going into gear like at all. It was like, you know, like really stiff. But yeah, the clutch feels good and everything, so that's good. But thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna be replacing like the whole shifter soon, probably in a couple weeks. I'll have like a new shifter, new boot, and everything on here, so it'll look a lot cleaner. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.